Right guys, so behind me here we've got Audi SQ7 over there, we've got Punter in the background there buying a Honda Jazz. Is that going to focus? Is it going to focus? 3, 2, 1. We've also got a Valeter just wiping that car down, and G-Wiz, we've got G-Wiz there as well. We've got loads of Binker dust because the Binker dust is absolutely killing us a minute, but more importantly the reason why you're here is because of this thing here. It is a Jag. As said by Jeremy Clarkson, as I mentioned in a previous Jaguar video. So yeah, this is a Jaguar XKR. Now if you are not too familiar with that letter R, yeah, that letter R means so much on this car. It's a proper special car. If you've not seen one of these cars driven before, they are an absolute beast. This has actually got the Range Rover Sport SVR engine under the bonnet. That is a 5-litre V8 supercharged engine. We'll talk about all that good stuff shortly. Let's just get on with the intro, do a walk around, and then we'll go for a little drive in it and show you lot what this thing drives like. Yeah, I think we'll wait till these boys finish cleaning this car. Tyrone, you right, yeah? Are you on it, yeah? Look how nice and polite you are on camera, isn't it amazing? What are you normally like, Tyrone? Just today I'm a pain in the arse. Normally I'm alright, ain't I? So yeah, Jaguar XKR. We'll talk about the R bit shortly. Let's quickly talk about the history of the XK in general. So this all started, the two-door coupe Jaguar thing, back in, I think it was in the 60s, a long time ago, with the Jaguar E-Type. That was a legendary car, proper classic. They're worth an absolute fortune. Now personally I don't think they're the most attractive thing in the world, but you can't ignore that they are an absolute legend, especially for the Jaguar history. They're really an important car. Moving on from that, you had the Jaguar XJS, which when I was a kid, there was like a 90s car. I think they stopped making them in about the late 90s, 1996, 97, there or thereabouts. Proper cool car. They'd done them with a V12 engine. They weren't massively fast, but they were a serious car on the road back in the 90s, all right? So moving on from that, you then had the X100 XJ Jag. That car basically symbolised a modern version of the XJS, and they even done an XKR, which was the top of the range one. Obviously that R badge, which is like the all singing, all dancing XK Jag available. That had a 4.2 litre V8 supercharged engine under the bonnet that produced about 420 brake horsepower. Serious car, serious performance, and it looked amazing as well. Get Jerome out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Then we get to this era of car, the X150 XK Jag, right? This car was offered, I think with a 4-litre engine or 4.2 litre engine, all V8s, every single engine option was a V8, I'm pretty sure that, certainly here in the UK, and they've done a 4.2 litre naturally aspirated, a 4.2 litre supercharged, which was the same engine out of the previous car, and then in 2009 they facelifted this car, which is what this car is here, and they put the SVR 5-litre V8 supercharged engine under the bonnet, and this engine produces just over 500 brake horsepower. So that car there, guys, has got over 500 brake horsepower. That is a serious amount of power. We're going to start the engine shortly, show you what it sounds like, give you a little listen, and obviously we will go for a little drive in there. They did facelift them again in 2011. That was a really subtle facelift, proper cool looking thing, but they kept the 5-litre engine right up until they make the F-Type Jag, and they just come away from that traditional look. Like this car here, when it replaced the X100s, they made it longer, a little bit wider. I say a little bit wider. Look how chunky them rear arches are. So they've done a very, very good job with the looks of this car, I think. Obviously Jaguar does appeal to a slightly mature audience of people, so some people watching this video right now might think, Calv, you know what, that ain't a bit of me. But when you see how this thing drives shortly, I think you will definitely have a little rethink on whether you like this car or not. But yeah, later on they've done the F-Type Jag, which I like, don't get me wrong, right? Cool car. They did put the 5-litre V8 supercharged engine in the F-Type R there as well, but they just lost that character, man. This is still looking like, this reminds me in some way, shape or form of the old XJS. That's what they've done a great job of. The XJS, the looks retained into the later Jag, and then so on into this one here, and I think it looks incredible. So yeah, wicked car. There's a bit of history of Jaguar there. It did go on for a little bit longer than expected. There's a lot to talk about. Jaguar is a big brand and it deserves a lot of love. So round the back of this car, it's obviously a 2-door coupe, big fat rear end, big fat rear arches, 4 exhausts at the back, got the R badge there, again symbolising the beast that this car is. It's covered in Binker dust. We did clean it this morning, ready for this video, but the dust is just honestly, it's been a bloody nightmare, man. Next time I get a new yard, yeah, because I'm hoping to upscale bin car because we've just run out of space because we're just growing at a crazy pace. Next time I get a yard, I will not get one with gravel on the floor. Be nice just to have like tarmac or concrete or something. So if anyone's got a tarmac yard that holds a couple of 100 cars, do reach out because I am quite desperate to find something bigger and better. But anyway, interior, look at the interior of this car. Look at this car. How many miles has this car done? Let's have a quick look. Should we start the engine now? Let's start the engine, get it warm. Stop button there. Listen to that. Look, the R badge has just popped up on the screen there, all looking very nice. Ignition is on, just in case for some reason you wouldn't know the ignition's just been turned on. Let's close that door. I'm just trying to find out what the mileage is. 18 mpg. That's hashtag V8 life. Obviously it's supercharged as well, so it does like a bit of juice. Keep going through. Here we go. Is that the mileage there? 68,509 miles. If we hop back out, look at that. You know, before we hop out, let's just admire this dash. Leather dash, white stitching, little R badge on the dash there as well. Love that. Press that button there. Got a few bits in there with Jaguar written on. Even little touches like that. Look at the seat controls. Pure quality, man. And the Alcantara headlining. What a lovely thing that is. That is absolutely beautiful. And then again, look at them R badges in the headrest. So let's just give it a little rev. It is actually warm, so don't stress too much, right? I do make sure I get cars warm before I rev them. In fact, before we do anything, let's get the cooled seats on. Have a little listen to this, yeah? Ready? Oh my god, it sounds brilliant. And look, it's got loads of fuel in it as well, which is brilliant. It's got the pop-up gear selector thing as well, similar to like later Range Rovers, Range Rover Evoques, Range Rover Sports and all that sort of wonderful stuff. Gloss black finish on the interior here with ashtray and a cigarette lighter. Ignore the bingo dust, like literally I'm fighting a losing battle with that. Let's quickly go for a further wander around the outside. Is there anything else I've missed? Leave it running, supercharged logos on the bonnet there with the vents in the bonnet. I like that. The front end is quite an impressive front end. We've got another Honda is that about to arrive in my life. You right there, mate? You come to look at cars? Let's quickly show you under the bonnet. Bonnet's not there. Yeah, it would be over that side, wouldn't it? Let's quickly show you under the bonnet. Yeah, even in it, look at it, it's got back seats as well, by the way. It is a GT car, Grand Tourer, so you could do some mileage in this, probably use a crazy amount of fuel, but you'd enjoy your mileage that you do. The bonnet opens this way, again retaining that sort of classical, old school Jaguar thing. Probably a bit annoying if you was a mechanic working on a car when the bonnet opening from that angle, but I ain't a mechanic, so that don't bother me. It's character, it's character. So there it is, the SVR engine, just over 500 brake horsepower, all right? So I think at this point of the video, we'll shut the bonnet, quickly throw a camera up in the window and go through HPI first. We'll quickly do that, look at specs, then we'll go for a little drive in it, and then after we've done a little drive, we're going to do draggy time to see how quickly you can get this car from 20 to 70 mile an hour in comparison to all the other cars on the draggy leaderboard, all right? That's it, yeah, we should hopefully get a few less distractions whilst we're sat inside the cockpit of the car. And by the way, inside the cockpit of the car is a very nice place to be. Is that steering wheel is adjustable, fully adjustable, electronically adjustable. This is what Jaguar as a brand are all about. These seats look like there's a hell of a lot of controls. I know I mentioned the seat controls earlier. That is nice as well, very nice looking panel. Is that clicking in and out? What's this all about? Oh mate. The bolsters go in and out. I like that a lot. And there is a nice mixture of materials used in here. We've got a bit of black leather at the top of the door card there. I mentioned the black leather on the dash as well with the white stitching. We've got white leather on the door card, and then we've got white carpet at the bottom there with Bose and Wilkins sound system. The rear seats, just trust me, you wouldn't want to sit in these rear seats. There is not much room there.
2 hours later.
So the memory card filled up on the outside camera, and then the memory card just filled up on this camera as well, because that would happen in this video, wouldn't it? Does anything else want to go wrong? Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing else goes wrong. Got fuel, the car works, and it's a nice dry day, so we shouldn't hopefully drift it into any trees or anything. So yeah, back leg room, wouldn't want to sit in there, but as a driver it's a nice place to sit, very comfortable. The seats ain't worn very much at all. I think I mentioned that earlier, considering it's done 68,000 miles, which is low but ain't super low. So it's mint in here, loads of leg room and loads of headroom as well on this lovely Alcantara roof lining. So anything else I want to mention whilst I'm sat in this driver's seat? I don't think so. I think we need to move on to the HPI section of the video where we go through spec. One thing I do want to say is the last time I drove one of these cars was actually done a video on it years ago, like a long time ago, when I was just experimenting with YouTube, and that was a 5-litre V8 supercharged car. I think that was a convertible facelift as well, about the same reg as this, probably a 59 plate. Proper cool car. I rated it so much, and again, I'm going to remind you that if you've not seen one of these things on the road and how well they perform and how well they drive, you need to hang around for that section of this video, because I'm excited about driving this car. Look, I have not driven it yet. I am genuinely looking forward to driving it, and I am genuinely looking forward to showing you lot what this thing drives like. All right, so let's quickly go on HPI. So here we go, BX59 FHR. 5 registers are clear. It's not HPI clear, not been stolen, not on finance, none of that stuff. Not been in any accidents. Previously had a reg of D10 PCB private plate, nothing to worry about there. One former keeper from new, which is amazing. Obviously the red paint. 5-litre 6-speed auto ZF gearbox, great gearbox as well, by the way, with the flappy paddles on the back of the steering wheel. We'll talk more about that when we go for a drive shortly. And HPI spec check, same 1 star. I think the spec check is playing up slightly at the minute, obviously being XKR. They come very well spec from factory anyway. This car was £71,000 new, and it's got 1,200 quid worth of optional extras apparently. All right, Bose and Wilkins sound, 489 quid. It's also got tyre pressure monitoring system, £391. Digital audio broadcasting, DAB radio, 342 quid. Then aluminium finish, claret, don't know what that is. Heated leather steering wheels, which is brilliant. We also noticed it's got air conditioned seats, which on a day like today is wonderful, and ivory leather, which I think for a Jag is beautiful. So yeah, great list of options there. 71 grand new. How much do you think this car is today? That's something else we need to talk about. Great value for money. If I quickly go to Auto Trader on my phone and just go Jaguar XKR and then go engine size from 5-litre, you can get these ones, like I said earlier, in the 4.2 V8 supercharged, but this has got about 80 more horsepower, 500 brake, so you want the 5-litre. Throttle response as well on this engine is lovely. Lowest price one, there's a Cat N1 there for £12,000. Like, this car is a serious amount of car for £12,000, but non-categorized, cheapest one on the net there is 15 grand. It's in black, it's done 107,000 miles, and then upwards from there. R1 is there at 18 grand. It's showing low price because of the mileage, but yeah, 15 grand you can get one of these for. What a car for the money. Nothing more to talk about with HPI. The only other thing on there is National Mileage Register. We also obviously do a mileage check on every car that we buy, just to make sure it ain't been clocked or anything, and this car is all genuine, it's all legit, it's all above board. Let's now hit the roads and see what this thing drives like. I've driven some fast cars in my time. Recently I ain't driven any. What was the last sort of fast? I suppose the SQ7, that was a fast car, but not really a sports car, yeah? 500 brake in a little car like this, I don't know the weight off the top of my head, but I will put it on the screen now. Doesn't feel like a heavy car at all, but currently I'm in just a normal drive mode. I'm not in the sports mode, and throttle response is unbelievable. That's one thing I remember with this car, the last time I drove one of these anyway. Listen to that noise. Supercharged engines almost sound naturally aspirated. That's what I love about a supercharger, and I like it that, listen to that, man. I like it that Jaguar continued to use a supercharger for all these years later. It's like their thing. So you've also got the option to switch the gearbox into a sports mode. It's just downshifted then as I selected sports. It's just done it again. Listen. And all that's going to do is give you a longer range of motion through the gears, all right? You've also then got the option to press and hold the dynamic flag button, dynamic mode confirmed. Throttle response now is a lot sharper. We're on the horrible bumpy road, but it don't feel too horrible and bumpy in this car because it is a classy Grand Tourer designed for a certain audience people. So luxury, smooth is what they were aiming to achieve with this car, and they've done a very, very good job of it. Sometimes I criticise build quality with Jaguar, and I don't know if I want to sit. I don't feel the need to criticise build quality as I'm sat here today, because I am absolutely loving being sat in the driver's seat of this car. I do feel like manufacturers, as time went on, look at that rear-wheel drive, by the way. So in my mind, I'm considering the rear end, although it is a super bone dry day. Oh my god, man! The response of this throttle pedal is unbelievable. Yeah, but what I was saying is build quality naturally, as time's gone on, companies are mass producing these cars. They are I would say because they're building so many of them, they're compromising on build quality. Maybe, all right. So there is a lack of build quality, definitely. But I can't say that I'm really considering that right now because I'm loving it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I just love it that they put that engine under the bonnet of this car. Obviously, JLR Group, the fact that they've got that engine. I deleted a few bits off the memory cards and then it ran out of memory again, so I had to delete a few more bits off the memory cards. Let's continue. Then they thought, you know, we'll stick a few of them engines in the Jags as well, which I thought was bloody brilliant. And where can you find a car with a 5-litre V8 supercharged engine with a wicked ZF gearbox that has paddles on the back of the steering wheel, rear wheel drive, putting down the power really well as well, by the way, and that sounds like that. Supercharged as well. I've not said the word supercharged so much in this video, but it does offer so much for not a lot of money at all. And I mentioned in the previous Jaguar video that I've done that the XFR Le Mans, I don't know how to say that, I've struggled saying it in that video as well. Whatever that car was, you can pick one of them up for about similar money. 4-door saloon with the V8 supercharged engine under the bonnet, 500 brake, and it's got that gearbox, which I think all in all, whoa! It's just a great package. Don't overlook this car. I know it's a Jaguar and some people are probably thinking, I don't know if I would drive a Jaguar. When you sit in this driver's seat, trust me, you will have an absolutely brilliant time. Look at them gear changes. This is like a bloody supercar, man. Even the fact it's got a boot and it's got fat arches, big chunky rear end, it offers so much. Now, I think what we really need to do, just to prove my point even further, this car does 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, which is an incredible time, right? I want to see how quickly it does 70 miles an hour because that's irrelevant to the whole car market, but completely relevant to this channel. And I suppose somewhere in the 4s would be amazing. And if you look at some of the cars that are in the 4s, there's some pretty harsh competition there. So we are now going to cut to the Dragisine section. That's third gear, it is just pulling strong. The Dragisine section of the video to see how quickly we can get it from 20 to 70 miles an hour. Let's go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Listen to that engine. Window up. Oh my god. So what is ironic is the 0 to 60 time, like I mentioned earlier, is 4.6 seconds to 60. From 20 to 70 miles an hour, run number 1, we've just done 4.52 seconds. I feel like we can do it a little bit quicker. I might actually turn traction control off for run number 2, but 4.52 is a great time. Let's see if we can beat it. 3, 2, 1. Easy. We beat it again, 4.47 seconds, all right? So run number 1 was amazing, run number 2 is incredible. We've got to do run number 3 and see if we can beat 4.47. So run number 3 was actually the slowest run of the 3. We done it in 4.56 seconds on run number 3. So 4.47 was the fastest one of the lot. That was our second run. And if you look at the Dragy leaderboard where that falls, it's as quick as an Audi RS. It's actually slightly quicker than an Audi RS3 and almost as quick as a W204 C63 AMG. Like, this is an old man's car through most people's eyes, and it's keeping up with AMGs, right? So yeah, the all in all sort of summary I would say for this car, to be fair, you can actually buy a C63 AMG for similar money, and with that in mind, you can get some pretty incredible cars nowadays for 15 grand. They're also a V8, they're naturally aspirated, but 450 horsepower, this is 500. But I think in a nutshell, I am so impressed with this car. Like, there is no compromise here. You're not cutting back with anything. Fuel economy is an absolute killer, especially with current fuel prices. But XJRs, notoriously or historically, they do just go up in value, so you can't go wrong buying one. And this one's got good mileage. It's a nice example, one owner, one private owner from new, full Jaguar service history. It's a proper car, and you know what, I've had a great time in it today. So although the video has been a bit of a headache to film because I've had a crazy amount of things go wrong, I say go wrong, that's a bit of an exaggeration, just a few distractions, yeah, memory cards filling up and all that sort of stuff. So I think what I need to do is wrap it up, leave it with a bit of exhaust sound. Let's just undo their windows. I still feel like I'm on a superbike. I'm leaning over the front end so to keep the nose down. Like it feels absolutely savage, this car. Listen to that. Listen. Little way through. Slow down Golf. I do not want to curb the wheels. The wheels are mint. The wheels are mint. Listen to that. The gear changes are bang on. I really, really want to end this video complimenting this gearbox. For an old gearbox, this is super fast. I think it's a German gearbox, by the way, and it is brilliant. All right, so guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Leave it as that. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, I forgot. I've got air conditioners. Whoa! He nearly just killed a bird. That was close. We don't want to kill any birds in this video. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, do me a favour. Hit the like button.